I've come to hate my body and all that it requires in this world. Candy says I've to make decisions that cause endless revisions in my mind. I'm gonna watch the bluebirds fly over my shoulder. I'm gonna watch them pass me by. Maybe when I'm older, what do you think I'd see? If I could walk away from me. Candy says I hate the quiet places that cause the smallest taste of what will be. Candy says I'd like to know completely what other souls discreetly talk about. I'm gonna watch the bluebirds fly over my shoulder. I'm gonna watch them pass me by. Maybe when I'm older, what do you think I'd see? If I could walk away from me. Do 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 Hi everyone, welcome. Sorry, I got a little confused off the start there because I left the audio from the show rolling on my iPad and could hear the playback delayed by like 40 seconds, and really apologies for butchering that song worse than I thought that I would. Anyway, here we are. We're doing a show. We're going to have some fun. Welcome. That was obviously a cover. That was a Velvet Underground cover, so I'm going to be doing some covers because I'm celebrating Halloween. Because to me, the entire month of October is Halloween. Just like, to me, the entire month of December is Christmas. I know that's a controversial opinion for some people, but the fun holidays should be celebrated as much as possible, and Halloween is the most fun holiday. I know that it's not a holiday, but it should be. We could probably replace Columbus Day in the US with Halloween and just have, like, a Halloween party all month long. So anyway, I am wearing my Halloween costume. Can anybody guess what I'm supposed to be? I'm Scarlyn Monroe. I'm goth Marilyn Monroe, or Scarlyn Monroe, which I thought was really funny. Maybe you think that's funny. O'Shea says, is there a delay on your voice? Is there an audio problem, Brad? Check, check, check. Sounds like I'm doubled. Oh, okay, so Brad, you're going to do a little dance. I'm going to go and see. Hold on. Don't go away. Brad's going to come and dance.
I hate this. I hate this. Am I doubled? Rena, am I doubled? You sound fine in this room. Am I doubled in your room? How about now? What's this sound like?
fix it? Did we fix it? I may have left the UAD. Are you still getting audio, Brad? You're still hearing you? Oh no, I mean, oh yeah. But in OBS, are you getting audio from me?
I can't monitor OBS right now.
Talk into louder.
Yes, we're good.
We're good? Can you hear me? And you guys can hear me talking okay?
Yeah.
Okay. It's fine now. Brad says it's fine now. Hopefully. Yes, great. So, audio engineer thing. The UAD interface comes with this console app that is its own console. It's like having another console in your room in addition to whatever you're monitoring off of. And so that was left on. So always check on that, friends. Cool. Welcome. So we are having fun. I am dressed as Carolyn Monroe, Goth Marilyn Monroe, if you couldn't understand that before. And we're trying to have a good time. I encouraged everyone else to wear costumes to this show tonight. I hope that you are sitting at home in your costumes. If you are, please put a link to a photo of yourself in the chat so that we can all look at each other's costumes. If you're not, I'm considering throwing a Zoom Halloween costume party on actual Halloween. I didn't want to schedule this show for actual Halloween because I figured people would have plans. But it sort of sounds like people don't actually have plans. So if any of you are planning to sit at home on Halloween, I'm thinking about having a Zoom link set up from like 8 p.m. to midnight and just having it running and people can like come in and say hi and have a toast and like whatever. We can all hang out and chat. If you're into that, send me a message. Say so in the chat. I'll set it up. It'll be fun. Yeah. So I'm going to play some more songs. Oh, I forgot to tell Brad to wear his costume. I did forget to tell Brad to wear the costume. Brad is dressed as a tech. That's his costume. And he's a very good tech. In any case, let me know if you want to do that. I am playing kind of stripped down today. Most of my gear is at home because I set up there in order to do rehearsing for improv stuff. Because I'm going to do an improv show next weekend with Brad, again, because Brad and I are the bubble. But so Brad's going to do improvised visuals and I'm going to do improvised music because it turns out I like playing improvised music a lot. If you are new to the Patreon and did not get the improv record that I put out in June or July or something, you can just scroll back through. I put out a whole record of improvised instrumental stuff. And so now I'm trying to do that in a live setting. Brad's choking. Feel free to cough, Brad. This is cool. This doesn't have to be professional. It looks professional, and that's all that matters. But yeah, so that's where all my gear is. So I'm going to do my best with my absolute bare minimum of pedals, which is still 6 pedals, because I'm crazy. But anywho, yeah, I think I'll play another song. Oh, yeah, and I do want to mention that I will be donating all of my Patreon proceeds this month to the Micmac Treaty Rights and Livelihood Fisheries. I'm not sure, that's what it says the organization is on the document that I located with where best to send your funds. And so that is where I am sending my funds, because that whole situation is a huge disaster, and definitely they deserve some financial support and some proof of, like, the more financial support we offer in these situations, the more proof there is of people. Like, I can't vote for that specifically. I can't make my voice heard other than like an Instagram post into my echo chamber or whatever. But the more money that the general public donates to these different things, even if it's $5 here and there, that's kind of a record for, the government to see, to observe that people are doing things. So I am going to throw a little money that way. And I pay Brad to do this. I pay Brad to be here. And he did give me his money back to donate. But I don't want you to think that I don't pay my staff, because it's important to me to pay my team. Brad is my team. So yeah. I'm going to try another song. Although I put this plumping lipstick on. Has anybody ever tried plumping lipstick? That it, like, I swear to God, it has bee venom in it or something. And I swallowed a little bit of it and it's burning my throat. So I'm going to try to sing this one, but bear with me. do what I need to. You do what you want to. I think everything through. You don't even try to. Never did believe you. You moved without warning. Falling roofs, put your hands away. Or was it you who forced me to stay? Oh, but I don't love this town anymore. Always moving, I don't love this town or any town for very long. No, I don't love anyone anymore. Always moving, I don't love. I don't love. Don't need anything true, anything you can do. Never did believe you. God knows that I tried to, but I don't love this town anymore. Always moving, I don't love this town or any town for very long. No, I don't love anyone anymore. Always moving, I don't love. I don't love. Yay! We made it through 2 songs. This is great. This is great. I'm almost getting good at performing now that I've done this for 3 months in a row. It just, you have to practice. It's this crazy thing where, like, if you don't practice, you suck. Life tip. So I want to talk about current events because I think that's extremely important, especially at this point in history. But I am concerned about talking about current events because I'm nervous that my perspective on what is going on in the world has the potential to get me thrown in jail at some point in the future here. Like, I'm a very radical leftist. I feel like the words radical leftist sound super like militant and crazy, but I'm a very politically left-wing person. I am so far beyond liberal that I feel grossed out by the word liberal. And that's like, the United States is going in this direction of fascism, where they are really trying to direct people who are anti-fascist into appearing to be criminals, right? Like this whole narrative that Antifa is a terrorist organization, that the president is saying this. And so, A, is Antifa even a real organization? Like, somebody pipe up in the chat if you know somebody who works for Antifa. Or don't if you don't want to be like make yourself, because this is on record on the internet. I'm speaking this and I'm consciously aware that somebody could look this up and throw me in jail for it. But is there a real organization called Antifa, that you could be a card-carrying member of? Is it organized? It's not organized enough that I know about it, which seems like it's pretty small scale and maybe not a real terrorist organization. So they're really just trying to make us all look evil in the eyes of the right wing. They're trying to turn us all into these opponents, which is I, as a leftist person, totally would just I want to live and let live. And, those conservative people, as long as they aren't infringing on my rights, they can go ahead and be whatever redneck hicks they want to be and, think whatever they want to think in their own communities. But this is turning into an actual rivalry where they want to infringe on my rights. And so I don't want to have to infringe on theirs, but like it's turning crazy. And so I'm nervous to talk about my opinions, because am I going to be dubbed Antifa? And am I going to be locked up and thrown in jail? I don't know. And I suspect that my mom is watching and that she's like, oh, Rena, you're overreacting. You're being concerned. But were they overreacting before World War II? No, they were probably blowing it off. And we have this luxury of having watched that happen, and we know what's happening now, and we know the potential that it has. And we shouldn't even be having this conversation about there being potential. There's enough going on to be able to have a conversation about there being potential for it to become illegal to be anti-fascist. Or illegal to be an anarchist, which I describe myself as philosophically an anarchist, and like in practice more of a socialist. I don't think anarchism is like a real ideology that can be applied to large groups, but I am philosophically an anarchist for sure. And me saying that right now online, on record, could in Nazi Germany, I'd have been sent off into whatever camp or like into the ovens because I can't lift a lot. No, I can lift a lot. I might have been okay. But that's a real thing to be worried about. And so my mom thought I was overreacting. And then she saw that news story about the governor who there was a plot to kidnap the governor somewhere. I don't remember exactly what happened, but there was a plot by a right-wing militia to kidnap this female governor. And my mom saw that news story and she called me and said, oh my God, you're right. It's super dangerous, and maybe Rena's right. And I got to thinking about her lack of concern. I'm like, sorry to use you as an example all the time, Mom. This comes from a place of love. But my mom's lack of concern comes from a position of like privilege and comfort, where, all through the centuries and through every terrible thing that's ever happened, people like my mom have been able to sit there and be like, well, I haven't experienced this, and it's not hitting close enough to home, and it's hard to imagine it hitting close enough to home because you've never seen it hit you or your kind in any way. Like middle class white people, we haven't seen it. But I, as a middle class white, well, I'm super low class now, I'm like poverty level now, but like I, as a white woman in my early 40s, I've never seen this impact me. And now there's great potential for it to impact me. So, yeah, it's problematic. Right. They were going to kidnap and execute the governor of Michigan. They're not going to deem those guys a terrorist organization. But they are the terrorist organization. It's chaos. And I'm concerned. We're all really concerned. And we should be. So on that note, I'm going to take it back to the songs. You guys can talk about is it super dangerous to be talking on the internet about my political opinions? Am I putting myself at risk? Am I putting you guys at risk by inviting you to these conversations every month? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe that's why we lost a couple of viewers. They were like, uh-oh, Rena's an anarchist. I'm not like an anarchist. Like, I'm not going to run around with, like, Molotov cocktails or whatever. I don't have time for that. But I am going to play a song because it wouldn't be a Halloween show if nobody did a Misfits cover, or if somebody didn't do a Misfits cover. So because I've always wanted to cover the Misfits in, like, a really cute way, because the Misfits songs are super pretty. They're beautiful melodies, and I always thought it was hilarious to see these like punk rock dudes at shows like thrashing around in their Misfits hoodies with the skull, and it's so hardcore. And then you listen to the music, and if you ignore the lyrics, it's these beautiful melodies that could easily be Everly Brothers songs that could be done with like beautiful harmonies. And so I'm gonna do a pretty little cover. If you're gonna scream, scream with me. Moments like this never last. When the creatures rape your face, hybrids open up the door. Ooh, baby, when you cry, your face is momentary. You hide your looks behind these scars. In hybrid moments, in hybrid moments. Give me a moment, me a moment. Ooh, baby, when you cry, your face is momentary. You hide your works behind these scars. Hybrid moments, give me a moment. Give me a moment, give me a moment. There you go. So, that was a song. I sang it. I hope it's sounding okay now. You can tell I'm nervous to talk about the thing I want to talk about next. I want to talk about how Trump didn't die. And what a fucking bummer that is. Trump didn't die. It's very unfortunate. That was a huge opportunity for us to just like avoid all of this bullshit, to just dodge it all. If like everyone in his cabinet got COVID and enough of them died, it was just like, oh, there is a God. But he didn't die. And now we have to deal with the fallout from that. Like, our only real hope, like, if he doesn't die, if he doesn't just die somehow, even if he doesn't win the election, it's going to be a huge disaster. Like, I feel like him dying of COVID was the only option to avoid civil war, because nobody is actually going to assassinate him. Like, I think even the right doesn't want him in a lot of ways. And if somebody was going to assassinate him, there would have been like a plan in place. Somebody would have been working on it. It would have been done by now. It would not have gotten to this point. Like, nobody's planning it. Nobody's working on it. I'm not going to work on it. I don't have time for that. But yeah, it's unfortunate. And so that's it. Civil war is coming, I think. What do you guys think? Do you think it's going to be civil war? Do you think there's any way for this to be okay? Like, is Biden winning going to make it okay? No, that's almost going to make it worse. It's almost like Trump has to win and then slowly impose fascism. Because if Biden wins, then Trump's base is going to impose fascism with their stupid militias. And then what does that mean for Canada? Like, I recognize I talk a lot about American politics because I think it's got so much influence on the world. But Mitch McConnell's the one who really needs to go. Didn't he have COVID too? Right? Like, wasn't he also on the list of people who could have kicked it this month and fucking didn't? Right. Ben Garrison said he was fine for a month and then died. Maybe there's still hope. I don't know. Part of me also thinks he might have faked COVID and the whole thing was a show. But he is walking around with that Band-Aid on his hand, which implies that he's had an IV. But maybe they put the Band-Aid on because people pointed out he didn't have an IV in those stupid videos that he did. I don't know. Civil war? Civil war is coming. 100% civil war. Right. We all understand it. What do? Do we participate in it when it comes? Better to die on your feet than live on your knees? I don't know. I'd live on my knees any day. I'm not a fucking fighter. I'm not a fighter. I don't want to be the one flipping over cop cars or whatever. I'm such a baby. I just want to live my life and play my little songs. So Brad says there's always hope. But hope for what, right? Like, what is our hope? Oh, is there hope he'll die? That was what Brad meant. There's the lag. The lag between the chat and the live talk is, yeah, if Biden wins, we have 2 full months of Trump's lame duck presidency because yeah, we're screwed regardless of who wins. We are screwed regardless of who wins. So what do I do? This is why I'm constantly talking about wanting to move to a remote location. But nobody's got on board with me for that yet. If any of you out there, I'm going to say it again, I'm going to say it every month. If any of you out there want to live in a remote location with me, in a van or whatever, and hide out until this war is over, like the soldiers who didn't realize that World War II ended because they were hiding in the forest, I'm totally down for that. And I'm not fucking around. Shay says she's in. Yes, okay. How do we just really need, I need to start like a Google Doc or something, and we need to start planning about where we're gonna go. Because we should have done it a couple years ago and already be comfortable. Hit the streets if you can. Yeah. I mean, but what is that? Hit the streets if you can. Right, so you're suggesting like joining in protest. Which I do agree with. What am I hesitating on with that? I feel like it's futile now. I feel like protest is futile. And participating, which I'm sorry, I feel bad even for saying that out loud. I feel bad for verbalizing that to a public group who I think should be going to protest. But I do, like, there is this nagging thought in the back of my mind that it is hopeless and we maybe need to organize beyond protest. I don't know what that means either, though. Like, it's spiraled out before we're ready to fight back, which is what they planned for. Not everyone has to fight. Mutual aid will save us. That's what I'm holding on to. Right, who knows, man? Rural Maine, they'll never find us. Rural northern Maine. Maine is beautiful. I don't know about rural northern Maine. It's basically New Brunswick, which is beautiful too. I like Maine. Continue for president. The greatest of all evils. Hey, would do a better job. So, anyway, with that in mind, organizing takes a lot of forms. There are tons of things that you can join. Yeah, maybe. I don't see any examples of any organizing that I can participate in my location, other than, my sparse donations to random things, which I can't afford to donate to things. I can't afford to even buy my own groceries, but I'm continuing to do this. So thanks. I'm giving the government's CRB right on over to organizations that they should be fucking giving it to in the first place. But, like, what organizations can I join? What can I participate in my circumstances also? Like, this is the other problem with political organizing and organizing to prepare for, like, a civil war or a revolution or whatever, is I also have to try to look after myself, which is a struggle at the moment. I think Shay is right. I think Shay is right about all of these things, but I am verbalizing my own, like, reasons for why I'm not currently organizing, even though I'm so passionately in belief that we're in a hugely problematic political and societal situation here. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm going to play a song. But I would like you to keep discussing where we're going to go to live, actually, if you want to do it and actually want to participate in it. And I don't know, what organizations can we join? What organizations can we start? What doesn't involve me having to buy a gun and kill right-wing people? Oh, because I really don't want to have to do that. It's just like, I don't want to have a gun to defend myself either. I don't ever want to have to shoot another human being or anything. I would maybe shoot like a deer hunting. Maybe. That might be really hard for me though, actually. I don't know. I just don't want to have to shoot anything. So can we come up with some way that prevents me from having to do that? Okay, I'm going to sing a song. Standing in the valley of the deep, grown in the back of your mind, tie you up and leave you here. Take your powers with mine, and if you see your mother, tell her it would be alright just to have another, maybe in the next life. my fingers here, ground up so fine. And when I found your ear, I will keep it with mine until you're sailing clear. I will take it as a sign that I could leave with him unscathed, alive. Who's GGS? Is that? Oh my God, it's Jamie! Jamie's here. That's so exciting. Oh, did you see me cover Danzig? Jamie and I sang harmonies once to that one. It was really cute. That's really exciting. Cool. So shit's crazy. Shit's crazy. We're dealing with a pandemic. We're dealing with an impending civil war. It's crazy. How is everyone coping? It's something I want to talk about is how are we coping? Because I'm kind of okay. I'm weirdly okay. I'm doing really well mentally. I shouldn't be, but I am. I think that the break from my day-to-day traveling, adventure, sound engineer, high pressure, high stress, sexist work environment, lifestyle, I think the break from it has been really healthy for me. So I think it's okay to be okay. I should not be okay. I've lost every penny of my savings almost. I think I have $2,000 left in a TFSA. $2,000. Like, think about that. People who are in your 40s who are watching who have real jobs. Imagine having only $2,000 in your life savings. And that's all you got. And I think that there are people watching here tonight who are in the same position as me who have even less, who may have zero left in their savings. That's fucking crazy, right? Like, once that's gone, what do you have? Well, you're relying on the government. I'm very lucky that I was reapproved for the CRB when it came out. So I am receiving the CRB, and that is going to sustain me. It does not cover all of my expenses every month. I'm making a little bit of money through the studio. By the way, hire me to mix, or we can still do solo sessions here. Even though we're in the red zone, we can still have individual musicians come in. I can have as many as 2 musicians, or even 3, because we've got separate rooms, and we never even have to come in. It's legally, we can have like people here and do business. So come to my studio, record, get a mix. I've been doing mastering and people have been liking it. Anyway, I make a little bit of money here. And I've started I've started one part-time job assisting an electrical engineer who is building an old Spectrasonics console, rebuilding it, and it's a really cool job. And so I have some hope. I'm getting by. I shouldn't feel as good as I do, though, because, I've never had to worry about how much I'm spending on my groceries this strictly before, where it's like I'm limited to $100 on a grocery bill. So I shouldn't feel good, but I do. It's been healthy. I actually beat insomnia during this I've had chronic, terrible insomnia for a long time, even before Chris died, even before I dealt with the grief thing. But then the grief thing just like ruined me for being able to sleep comfortably. But I have managed to beat insomnia by just having the time to like not worry about what I have to do in the morning and not have to get something done at night before going to bed, and taking the time to like have an appropriate bedtime routine and like consciously put my phone away. And I'm, without having to run from the next thing to the other, I've really been able to reflect on my own like life pattern and take some really healthy control. So I want to say that it's okay to feel okay. I think that a lot of us who have lost everything in the music industry feel, and I know I'm like, oh, I should be more miserable than I am. I think we need to allow ourselves to feel good. We need to find situations of joy, things that bring us joy, and enjoy them. But only if you don't watch TV or read the news. Yeah, that's true, until you read the news. But still, I'm like, I, in my own little corner of the world, am feeling really good and feeling really optimistic. So that's weird. Gotten used to this. That's the only reason I feel right. Yeah, I think, I don't know, like what's bringing you joy right now? I want to hear about it. If you've got something that actually is making you feel good and happy, let's reflect on that. Let's allow ourselves to be happy. And on that note, I'm going to sing a sad song. Tall grass she rose, so alone but never alone. You call, she comes, you fall and she runs, but you fell too low. She flies high as the sun, and so you run, so you've come to find your heart undone, and she won't be nowhere to be found as you run, as you run, as you run right into the ground. Isn't this what you were waiting for? A hand on your heart, a head on your door. You cut it apart 'cause you were looking for more. There's a false to your start, there's a flaw in your score. What would you do? They're all looking at you. Ooh. You said too much, so they wired your mouth shut, but still what you said was so. So you've come to find your heart undone, and he won't be nowhere to be found as you run, as you run, as you run your heart into the ground. And I'm not here anymore. All right. Yay. All right. We got some cool people. Cool people are here. 12 people. That's exciting. That's like as many people as came to my last show in Montreal when I played solo live. Yeah. So I wanted to talk about the music industry. So I was talking about feeling good on our last break and how it's nice to feel good even though things are terrible. And I kind of feel exactly the same about the music industry. I still feel good about it, although I'm less optimistic now than I was at the beginning of COVID. I started this whole thing out extremely optimistic. Like back in March, I was texting with a guy that I did a tour with for Red Bull a long time ago with Robbie, who might actually be here. Hi, Robbie, if you're here. But he texted me being like, what's going to happen? What's going on? And I was like, oh, man, it's going to be fine. What's going to happen is the government's going to make us stay home for 6 weeks. And then 6 weeks later, they're slowly going to open up. And by then, you know, we'll be okay. I said, I will see you in May on a show. It'll be great. I was convinced that, like, for sure, if everybody stayed home for 6 weeks and absolute bare minimum was done for 6 weeks, I think we would have been okay, but nobody did that. New Zealand did that. New Zealand successfully isolated for 6 weeks, successfully reopened gradually for 6 more weeks. And they came out okay. And if every country in the world had done that, I think we'd be looking at something totally different right now. We would be in a much better place. And so now I am not that optimistic. I do not think that humans are going to get past this. I think even with a vaccine, we're not going to get past this. I think this could be permanent. And I'd love to hear your opinion. I'm open to being wrong. Many countries in Asia did well as well. And I think countries in Asia did well because masks were normalized for them previously. They've successfully prevented the spread of many other flus by having it be like a cultural norm to wear masks on a regular basis. It was so cool to wear a mask in Tokyo when I had a cold when I was there, where I was like, I'm wearing a mask. And then here it was like, I'm afraid to wear my mask. Part of me was like, yeah, so we can wear masks in North America now without looking like a tool. And so, yeah, I think that had a lot to do with it. And they recognized that, like, okay, it takes 2 weeks to develop symptoms. It takes 2 weeks, to know if you have the virus or not. So we need to, like, at least 2 weeks of isolation and then another 4 more just to make sure that, like, nothing's getting passed. A lot of countries did it right. We did not. America did not. And so I think we are going to have to live in this social distancing state maybe permanently. I'm a pro-vaccine person, but I am anti-getting the vaccine if it's rushed. I do not want to get a vaccine that's not been appropriately tested. And I think there's a lot of potential for... Trump is talking about pushing this vaccine, ramming the vaccine through. I think people are going to get sick. I think people are going to die. I think lives are going to be sacrificed in order to ram a vaccine through as fast as possible. And I don't fucking want it. I don't want it until it's confirmed to be safe. That's it. I'm 100% pro-vaccine. I am not anti-vaccine. I don't think vaccines give you autism. And even if they do, I think autistic people have some incredible qualities and just live a different experience in an extremely positive way. I think there's nothing wrong with being fucking autistic. And so, or like whatever you can get from getting whatever. I'm pro-vaccine, but I'm anti getting a rushed vaccine. And so I think that there's never going to be tours again. I think we're never going to have large-scale live shows. I think that maybe we will never do real tours. I was talking to somebody who had the idea that they will maybe have festivals, controlled large outdoor festivals. I think that's probably true. So maybe like large acts will get to do a world tour of a bunch of festivals, a chain of like COVID-friendly festivals in the summer. And then maybe like local cities will put on their own outdoor festivals. Like there'll be that kind of thing. But I don't think we're ever going to see another like sweaty punk club tour of Europe again. Maybe not. I think there's potential for this to be the end of that, which does mean that, my career as a touring sound engineer is dead, which I'm working on other things. I'm working on being okay with other things. It's maybe going to be all right. But I don't think music is dead, and the music industry isn't dead. We still are compelled to make music. We still are compelled to share that music with our friends, and then we are still compelled to share that around in the community. that's it. We're compelled to do it, and we're going to continue doing it. We just need to have new ways. Oh yeah, it'll be the Flaming Lips touring in literal bubbles. I kind of like that idea. I would go to a show and be in a bubble, but like it's gonna be different. It's gonna be weird. People might not. You're not gonna have as successful a tour if you're putting your entire audience in bubbles, or maybe it'll be more successful. I don't know. But in any case, we need to continue to innovate on our ways of sharing our music in a way that includes earning money from it. So obviously streaming is not the way to earn money off of your music. Maybe a new streaming platform that provides us with funding in an appropriate way would be cool. But stuff like this. So I don't want to like advertise for Patreon at my Patreon show, because you are obviously, I'm preaching to the choir if you're already paying for Patreon. But this platform, even though I admit that it is very poorly laid out and it's very hard to navigate as a user and it's unfortunate, a better platform than Patreon that monetized the service in the same way. Like, I'm clearly doing a service and you're clearly giving me money for it. Maybe you're paying for the Patreon just because you're my friend and you want to support me, or maybe you're paying for it because you actually like the music that I do or the content that I do. Either way, those are good reasons to spend money on a product. And the money is going straight to me, the creator of the product. It's wonderful. If you are watching this and you are a creator of some kind of music, of art, or whatever, I encourage you to make one. I think we should make this more common. Build a Patreon for whatever you can think of. And, I'd rather be hiring creators to make the things that I'm enjoying directly like this as much as possible. If you are aware of an artist on Patreon that you love, please share it in the chat and I will look them up and I will get their stuff. I want to have more. I'm only following a few accounts right now and I would like to do more. I would like to distance myself from the streaming service and go more to the local thing. Bandcamp is doing it right also. Bandcamp is also doing it right. Although like even on revenue share day, somehow my deposit in my account was still 20% lower than what people paid. So I don't know. I don't really know what's going on there. Bandcamp is great. They just need a player app so you can get to your library easier. Right. Okay, so here's what I do for people who use Bandcamp. I have Dropbox. I pay for a terabyte on Dropbox or something. And Brad's shaking his head because I know he hates Dropbox. He refuses to even use it for our videos. But I think you could do this with other online storage formats. But so I download from Bandcamp and from Patreon, and then I upload to my folder on my online storage, which could be Dropbox, it could be Google Drive, it could be whatever. Brad is still smirking like he hates all of them. That's fine. Brad is like a super anti-information guy. But so then I upload it to there. Then I have this app called Music Box, and there's a lot of other apps that do this, that turn your online storage folder into a music player. So it essentially makes those folders function as iTunes. I just like go into the app and then I can connect it to my Dropbox and link it to that. And so it's functioning basically like Spotify at that point. And so I can, you can build playlists on the fly. You can listen to whole albums. You can shuffle all of your files if you want to. So high recommend for that. Yeah. Dropbox sucks as a player. App called Music Box. Yeah. So Monty. Oh yeah. Hi Monty. I didn't say hi to you. Thank you for being here and contributing to the chat. You should come back to Montreal because I'm really busy and I need help with the studio. Yeah. Music Box is the best. Yeah. Music Box works great. So that's what I'm doing. So, and I want to like collect as much as I can from Bandcamp and really distance myself from Spotify. Although I have this stellar playlist. I have a 4,000 song playlist on Spotify that is my morning playlist of all the music that I can tolerate in the morning. And so I can wake up in the morning and just put that on shuffle. But it's 4,000 songs. That's going to be super expensive to try to duplicate it. And lots of it is like old reggae that you're not going to be able to get, like early ska that's going to be hard to find on Bandcamp. Anywho... yeah, that's the story there. Do I have another song? Oh my gosh, we're at the end again. I have just one more song for you. Okay, before I do that, don't have any streaming apps. No, you're a genius because you don't have streaming apps, Shay. It's great. Is it public? I assume you're asking But oh, my playlist. Yes, my playlist is public. It's called Mornin' M'Lady. If you, and actually, you know what? I will share it. I will share that, a link to that with everybody. Because I was thinking about doing that too this morning, actually, because I was like, this playlist is awesome. More people should enjoy this as much as I do. So I will share my playlist. Yeah. You're not a weirdo for not having a streaming app. I think that's awesome, and you're doing a great job. I am thoroughly addicted to the streaming app because I can like think of a song from any time in history and then just have it at my fingertips, and then make a radio station around it, and then like I just give it the thumbs up, and the algorithm learns what I like, and then it plays me more stuff that I like. And so I have legitimately discovered a lot of wonderful things that I wouldn't have without it. But you know, somebody needs to make a way to have that provide money to the people who make the music. I'm trying to do both. I'm trying to keep my Spotify because I do have access to those old things, you know, like the entire Nina Simone collection. The entire Nina Simone discography is not on Bandcamp. I could buy it, but it would cost me $30,000 as opposed to $14 a month. So, yeah. I want to do both. I definitely want to do both. And especially for like anything new. If it was released in the last 10 years, I want to buy it on Bandcamp and listen to it in Music Box. That's it. That's that. So those are things that we can do. Support Patreon, support Bandcamp, buy direct. Also, I'm talking about turning the studio into a non-profit artist collective. Thinking about doing that. If anybody has any experience with being a non-profit artist collective, I would love to hear your experiences about it. Or a cooperative. There's been some conversations between various people that I've worked with in the industry about starting a musicians cooperative, like a co-op, where you, instead of hiring a manager and an agent, you work with a manager and agent within your cooperative. It's sort of like a union, sort of like what the musicians union should be doing for musicians. You'd have access to like merch companies together. You'd essentially co-manage each other. And I think that's a really cool idea. But if you have any thoughts, please communicate them. If anybody has an idea about what, you know, an organization or a product or a service that could start steering the industry in a direction that puts money into the hands of the creators, send me an email, send me a message, send me a note. If you have any inspiration on anything that you would like someone to collaborate with you on, I'm looking to collaborate on things like this. I just don't know what to do. So, cool. Let's do it. On that note, I will sing a song. I'm going to tune, although I maybe should untune because I'm going to cover Guided by Voices. So I don't want to be too in tune. I want you to get the feeling of the song. And this is maybe an overly ambitious cover. It's sort of what do they call it when it has a lot of movements? An opus? A rhapsody? It's going to be hectic. But it's the last song for tonight. Thank you very much for coming. It is the last song. It is a long one. Maybe you won't like it and you tune out. So if you tune out before the end, thank you for coming. I have enjoyed having you here. And it means a lot to me to get to stand here and talk and have people talk back and come up with ideas. Hopefully we can be inspired by each other and do something more as time goes on, and push for positive change in whatever capacity we can manage. Traveler's diagram for where I am or what I am. It's a visual code, it overloads and then explodes. But hey, let's throw a great party today for the rest of our lives. The band is just about to get started, so throw the switch, it's rock and roll time. Forcibly let it blow, and then the young lady blows. Kisses to the crying cooks with baited hooks and lady looks. But hey, let's throw a great party today for the rest of our lives. The band is just about to get started, so throw the switch, it's rock and roll time. You must be willing just to ride along with me. You must be happy just to do the job for free. Yours for the taking if you follow simple rules. Such acts of subservience were never taught in school. Spit me out from your cosmos. Draft me into your troops. Set me up for the knockdown. You can watch, you can watch. I'll be back when it's over. I'm much greater than you think. I'm a swimmer in the drink. I'm much greedier than you think. I'm a slammer in the drink. Oh, mesh gear files. Pull out another bag of tricks from your scientific box. Time is wasting, and you're not gonna live forever. And if you do, I'll come back and marry you. No use changing now, you couldn't anyhow ever. And it's not the way that I feel, it's the way you act, it's the way you look when you're near me. And it's not so hard to concede, to conceal. It's the things you say, it's the things you do, go right through me. Okay, thanks. Good night. Happy Halloween.